Hey there, it's Jen, and today I wanted to share with you some alcohol markers that Arteza sent me to try. They're Everblend art markers. They have a few different sets. They sent me the 60 set, which I think is like the middle set. There's one that has 120, I believe. So they are dual tipped. They have one broad tip and one fine tip. So here you can see the broad end. And here's the fine tipped end. They do have replacement tips, and if you want to buy a new marker, I think they sell them in sets. I'll be sure to link to all of that below if after you watch the video if you're interested in these at all. But I love alcohol markers and they can get expensive, so I wanted to try these because they aren't super expensive, and I thought I would share it with you here today. So you can see here I have swatched out all of the colors that come in the 60 set. It's a good mix of colors. I feel like that I wish that there was kind of maybe a bright yellow. There might be other colors in the 120 set that aren't in this set, but you can see the thickness of the broad tip and the thinness of the fine tip. And if you like a brush tip marker, this doesn't have the brush tip, but I find that for what I color in, I actually like using this fine tip mostly, and then sometimes the broad tip as well. It just helps to get into fine details, which is mostly what I'm doing usually. So again, there's lots of different colors. There's some kind of warm grays and cool grays, black. There's a colorless blender, which I'll show you later. It's not swatched because it doesn't have color. There are a couple neon colors, which I thought was interesting. Don't know how often I'll use the neon colors, but you know. There's lots of blues and greens, which is good, and lots of pinks and reds, which I like to color mostly flowers when I'm actually coloring in images. A lot of times what I'm doing with alcohol markers is recoloring embellishments, like if I have like little jewels or if I have letters that aren't quite the right color, then I will change up the color using these sometimes. And so just kind of a little thought process on how I would use these. Now let me show you, before I show you the actual markers and blending and stuff, let me show you how the cool thing about this set of markers is that it comes in this case. So the case has a strap at the top, which you can take off, and a little handle. Little closure there, and then you can store all of your markers in here. So it comes with enough room to store the 60 plus this many more. So however, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 more markers you could store in here. There's Velcro at the side, so you can undo it and have your markers kind of so that you can like flip through them as you're working if you want to. It's a nice little storage system. My daughter has actually been carrying this around the house and coloring things, and so I've let her use these as well. It is an awesome little case, so if that's something you're interested in, it comes with the case. So really, really fun. Let's go ahead and choose. I'm going to choose a couple colors and show you kind of the blending. I am using some Cougar White 140-pound cardstock. It's smooth white cardstock from Cut Cardstock. There are lots of different cardstocks that people like to use for alcohol ink coloring, alcohol markers and stuff. I find that this one works well for me, but you can do some research and find what works best for you. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and I am going to look at my little chart that I've created here. I've written the numbers next to each color, but they also have names on them, and so I'm just for this purpose, I'm going to just do this A410, which is actually called Rose Red, and I'm going to do the A487, which is called Watermelon Pink. And you can see that the color, like the colors on the lid aren't a super great match to the actual color, so I do definitely recommend swatching them out so that you can see the actual colors. This has been very helpful for me when I'm wanting to go and blend some colors. So you can do 2 or 3 colors. I'm just going to do 2 for this just to show you how it works, or maybe I will add in a third like really light color, we'll see. But what I like to do is start, actually let's go ahead and do a light color, because I usually start with a light color. We're gonna make this peach work with it. So when I'm doing a bigger blending area, I like to use the broad tip. So I'm just going to lay down some color. Usually I actually like to do this on a like separate sheet of paper so it doesn't bleed through. But this cardstock is super thick, so it takes a while for it to bleed through anyway. So I'm going to just put down that color, and then I'm going to go in with my second color, and I am going to bring it in from the side. Now these colors are fairly, there's like kind of a big jump between these colors, so I may have to work at this a bit to get the colors to really blend. And sometimes what I like to do when the colors are far apart too is do some tip touching. So I'll just like grab a little bit of the darker color on the tip of the lighter color, and that will help with blending. You can also try doing little circular motions. Some people like feathering it in, some people like doing little circular motions. You can see that's already working together a little bit better. This is maybe a color combination that I would not do on a large scale, but maybe on like a small little flower it would work. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is go in with the darkest color, and oops, I apparently, maybe my daughter did that. Make sure that you clean off your ends if you accidentally mix other colors in so that you don't ruin your markers. But these 2 colors blend together pretty seamlessly because they are very similar. You can see that very easily there, and you can keep going over it to make it a little bit darker. And I'll go back in with the lightest color. Again, this is going to be the one that's tricky to kind of blend, so I might need to layer that a little bit more, but you get the idea. So pretty awesome to be able to blend these colors. I've chosen some colors that blend well together to just, I'm going to color something and show you guys that really quickly. So I thought I would share with you, you know, how I use it. Photoplay paper has a line of papers that they print specifically for coloring, and these are great for card making and just if you like to color in general. So it says Color Play at the bottom. These are the Color Me Grow card layers. I'm not sure if this particular paper is still available, but I did see other ones, so I'll link to what I can find in the video description. But I'm just going to color in this little cactus image here, and I've chosen 2 greens. I'm just going to do 2 of each color, except for I have 3 of the reds, or the reddish orange, but I have 2 greens, so I'm choosing olive green and green tea, which are 941 and 942. 941, let's see, and 942, these 2 right here. Okay, and then I am also doing some orange for the pot. I'm going to make it look potted, and so I'm using these 2 for that, and then I also have this dark like mahogany color for some shadowing, and then I have a couple of red shades, I believe 416, this one here, and 414. So those 2 for the flowers. So that's what I'm going to do. I will speed this part up just a little bit so you don't have to sit and listen to me chat through this as I color it. But very simple process, and I will show you how I do it.
Okay, so a few things as I'm coloring here. Do I really know what I'm doing? No, not really. I just kind of play around and have fun blending. I started by laying down the lightest color, and then I added in some of the dark colors for some shadows. I'm using the fine tip to color this, and the awesome thing about alcohol markers is that They have a really smooth look to them when they dry. Like, they don't have streaking like you get with other markers, and that's really nice. So in person, you can see the kind of subtle details of the blending a little bit better, but you can kind of see it there in the video as well. So I'm just coloring around those flowers and making it darker towards the edges pretty much is what I am doing, and darker around where the flowers are, kind of where there would be shadows. I don't really pay too much attention when I'm coloring these to where shadows would actually be. I'm just more trying to give some dimension by varying the color a little bit. So for the flowers, I did pretty much the whole flower in the lighter color, and then I added a little bit of the darker color on the outside edges. I found that there wasn't enough contrast with that, so I came in with an even darker red and just added a little bit more, and that seemed to make a big difference. Now I'm going in with this kind of pumpkin orange color, and I am laying that down over the whole pot, and then I'm going to go in with the second orange color and just kind of give a little shadow, and already you can see what a big difference this makes. I'm adding it on the sides and then under the lip of that pot, and then I'm going to go in with that kind of mahogany brown color and add that to deepen the shadows a little bit more. So you will see me in a second here. I'm going to finish up after I do the heart in a teal color. I'm going to use the colorless blender. I went outside the lines just a little bit, and I'm going to use the colorless blender to kind of push that color back. That's what I'm doing here, and also add some highlights to the pot there. The colorless blender is really a misnomer because it doesn't blend. It really takes away color.
Okay, so as you can clearly see, I'm not an expert colorer, but here is my little attempt at coloring in this image here. They're pretty easy to use, fun. It's something that I'd like to get more practice in, so I'm glad that I have these markers, and I think that they are a great set if you want to invest in something that isn't quite as expensive as other alcohol markers, and you can get a lot of colors and still be able to have the same effects that you would with other markers. So let me know if you liked this video, and I am thankful to you for watching, and for all of you who watch my videos. I'm super grateful for all of you, and anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments section, and I will link to all of the products that I used today. Be sure to check out the code in the video description as well. I'll put it up here at the top too. I can't remember it right now as I'm videoing this, but I do have a discount code for you that you can get. I think it's 10 or 15% off over at arteza.com. So be sure to check that out, and thanks so much for watching.